The Entrepreneur's Drive, I thought, was a great opportunity to get to see what the angel investment community looked like in Sacramento and in this region. I was really encouraged to see so many people out there and coming and supporting and listening and wanting to learn and become better angel investors. So that was great. I thought the questions were really good, and I thought we had a good discussion. So that was a really good kind of start to the day. I really enjoyed that piece of it. Then the golf tournament, that was really interesting. I've never done anything like that before, where there's a different company pitching at every different hole. I thought that was, good on you for the entrepreneurs to stand out there in the heat and be willing to pitch to the different investors. I thought that was great. So I had a lot of fun there. And then the end, to be able to talk more with those, to follow up with the entrepreneurs and give the investors an opportunity to follow up and learn more about them. I thought that was really neat. So the day I thought was a great one. I thought it was a fun event for investors. It gave them a reason to come out besides just a meeting with entrepreneurs. And for the entrepreneurs, it was great exposure for them. So all in all, I thought it was a great day. I was really excited to be a part of it. So Austin's got a lot of activity going on right now. We benefit from many things that have happened in the past with the Dells and the Tivolis and the Trilogies of the world that have really kind of laid the groundwork for technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship. And we're benefiting from that now with recent IPOs like Bazaar Voice and SolarWinds and others. We've seen the seeds of entrepreneurship be planted by these bigger companies going out and then spurning off other entrepreneurs doing other startups. So that's been really neat. You couple that with the University of Texas and what they're doing with technology innovation and the engineering department and the engineering school there. We've really seen this boom of entrepreneurship and more startups coming out of the region and thinking bigger. Austin's had in the past a little bit of a kind of a bootstrapping mentality, which is not a bad mentality, but it's been kind of more of a families run type of business or a lifestyle type of business where it's something that just happens in our region. And now we're seeing entrepreneurs really kind of swing more for the fences that want to be involved in big ideas. And so we're just seeing, and then of course with the events happening, the South by Southwest and the Formula One, that gets a lot of international attention coming to Austin and seeing bigger things happening and launched in Austin. All those things help to where now there's just so much excitement about what we have going on with a bunch of the incubators and accelerators and Techstars now coming. There's just this bubbling of activity, of frothiness that is really conducive to cool innovation, cool companies, and great investment opportunities. So I'd say number one, the thing that I feel like is different from Sacramento than from Austin is you're missing some really key transformative catalyst type of people in the ecosystem that are really here to be a loud voice for Sacramento and the Folsom area and the El Dorado Hills, to really stir things up and be a loud voice to say, hey, come on, we got to get this going, we got to do these things, we got to have these events, we got to educate more angel investors, and we got to get more capital into the hands of these startups. Austin benefits from a lot of those loud voices, and so I am just one of many that are out there beating the drum really, really loudly. I'd like to see, I think that's something that Sacramento can do better, is to get a couple really true catalysts like the Jack Crawfords of the world, having 3 or 4 more of those individuals that are just doing big things for the region and getting more tech talent involved and more startups involved. That's a big piece of advice, number one. And number two, I get kind of goes hand in hand with that, is having more of these critical mass areas or these centers of gravity for entrepreneurs and startups to get together, to bounce ideas off of each other, to co-locate and work together, and then to have investors have an easy access point to them so that they can not only invest in them but mentor them and help them and give them advice and have them work through the critical parts of being a startup. So those are kind of two key pieces, and I see potential in that. I mean, I see, we're here in Old Town Folsom? We're here in Old Town Folsom, and I see kind of the baseline for, I think, what could be this really cool startup community with Cairns, kind of being the, what Bucks is to the valley, Cairns could be to this area, and then the Entrepreneurs Campus and some of the other kind of the bar streets and everything kind of around this area. This could be kind of an enclosed startup village for Sacramento that could be really, really cool, really transformative, and give, again, those investors that easy access point to all the activity that's going on. And every entrepreneur would know, hey, if I want to get in the game in Sacramento, I got to be in Old Town Folsom. I'd love to see that happen as well. Yeah. talking to CEOs, and frankly, we benefit from having some really good CEOs that understand the role that they play in the ecosystem. But I think what I would tell Sacramento CEOs is, besides being an important part of mentoring and early customers and all those different things, I think that they need to realize that they are the inspiration to many of these young entrepreneurs. I mean, entrepreneurs that are starting from zero, wanting to grow, a big company or be able to, get acquired, whatever they want to do with their company. These CEOs that have been there, done that, gone from 2 employees to 100 employees to more, are inspirational to these young entrepreneurs. And so they need to be there. They need to give some of that time back, in my opinion, to further an ecosystem to be vibrant. A vibrant ecosystem needs CEOs that have been there, done that are willing to come back and say, hey, here's some of the growing pains that I went through, here's some of the decisions that I made, here's some of the things, the trouble points and mistakes that I made. But in the end, it was awesome, and I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I want to do it again, and I want to see you guys do it, and I'm cheering for you, and I'm hoping that you do this, and inviting startups over to their headquarters or wherever they are, to their offices, to just kind of see the startup culture that they built. I hope that these CEOs have built startup cultures within their own organizations, being that they are a startup. That doesn't always happen. But in Austin, we get that a lot. Brett Hurt's a great example of that with Bazaar Voice and what he built. He still has a startup culture, even though they are now a public company, a very vibrant startup culture within Bazaar Voice. And so every entrepreneur or every employee of Bazaar Voice knows, I think they get 2 to 5 hours a week that they have to spend on their own project, whatever they want that own project to be, something innovative. I mean, it's those types of things that they build the culture within their own startup that then, helps the ecosystem in general. And, it's getting those CEOs that have that perspective. And that's something I'm not sure you can really coach. I mean, hopefully they already have it, which is why they're entrepreneurs in the first place. Yeah, so office hours has been really important for Austin's ecosystem, and certainly for the angel ecosystem. But it's not just, office hours is one example of an event. It's more about transparency and accessibility. Those are the big kind of key tenets of why we would do something like an office hours. We want entrepreneurs to feel like they have access and they know who the investors are. That we want them to feel like they have access, they know who the investors are, and they can go out and they can talk to them, and they cannot be intimidated by them, and they can get advice from them and reach out to them when they have questions. That's the big thing about office hours. Whether it's an office hours event or other types of similar events like Big Breakfast and Big Ideas, it is all about getting investors in the same room, mentors in the same room as entrepreneurs and startups, and helping them kind of bounce ideas off of each other and ask questions and create kind of this energy around what's going on in the ecosystem. That's the key piece, and that's helped a lot in Austin. And we're not the first ones to do it in Austin. VCs have been holding office hours off and on for a while. Other groups hold office hours. There's technology development guys or Ruby on Rails guys that will hold office hours just for just to get entrepreneurs together and meet. But I think it's really important to plug in the investor side of that, so that an entrepreneur can come up and go, hey, I'm really looking for a co-founder to do X, or I really need advice to talk to Intel to do Y. What do you think? Do you know anybody that can help me do that? And for an investor to be able to sit there and go, yeah, I know somebody that can help with that. That's key for these entrepreneurs. So it's about creating this energy around events where investors get excited, entrepreneurs get excited, and there's this openness and accessibility of what's going on in the ecosystem that's so important to getting things done, or enabling a vibrant ecosystem.